In the front office department, one of the most important aspects is the reception. Now, reception plays a very vital role because he or she is the main point of contact and is the first point of contact for the guests as they enter the hotel, either to check in or to use any of the amenities provided by the hotel. Now, irrespective of the category of hotel, the role of the reception would still be the same. By definition, a receptionist is an employee taking an office or admin position. And in the hotel industry, the receptionist plays a very vital role, and they form the main first impression in the eyes of a guest or a potential guest or a non-resident guest entering the hotel, because positive attitude is the key and patience is the virtue. Let us go through the functions and the important parts of the reception. As I previously mentioned, is the first point of contact. So each time a given particular guest enters a particular hotel, the first point of contact is the receptionist. They act as a face of the hotel and they represent the brand. At the same time, the positive attitude and patience plays a very vital role in this regard. The receptionist also has a lot of responsibilities and duties, which we will address. And one of the most important aspects of the reception or the front desk is conducting check-ins and even assisting in checkouts or even performing checkouts as well, depending on the type and size of hotels. A receptionist has to be very assertive in his or her approach, should have very strong organizational skills and very strong communication and interpersonal skills as well. And they should have problem solving abilities at the same time, because here they have to patiently hear the guest out, understand the needs, and providing exemplary care, and at the same time doing their best in fulfilling those needs, hence resulting in customer satisfaction, leading to loyalty in the long run because of the positive attitude and the assertiveness and the responsiveness to services or providing services to customers. Again, receiving visitors at the front desk is a crucial aspect over here, as I previously mentioned. And complying with the standard operating procedures during guest check-ins. Now, here by standard operating procedures, here I'm referring to a very typical generic standards that have been adopted by hotels and hotels are still complying with the same. And it starts right from check-in till the time the guest is checked into the room. And upon check-in, the front desk or receptionist must greet the guests with folded arms and offer guests to seat. Now, this may vary from hotel to hotel and from country to country. Now, for example, if we are looking at the Asian regions, especially in Thailand or in India, uh, receptionists would, of course, greet guests in this manner with folded arms. And many a times they even offer welcome drinks to guests. But at the same time, countries in the West do not engage in folding hands and greeting guests, but at the same time, they have a very formal way of greeting the guests. But at the same time, they would again maintain the professional the professional behavior as well as a friendly and positive attitude. Then during the check-in process, it's very vital to ask for the guest's last name and check for the reservation on the hotel's property management system. In this case, I'm referring to Micros Opera or Oracle Opera, which is very, very commonly and widely used by most of the hotels across the world. So it is very convenient and easy to use and work with. Now, the reservation can be checked on Opera, and the same can be verified through registration cards that have already been prepared by the telephones and the guest operator service departments respectively. With the and each of them have been stored in compendiums or files and folders, which is very convenient for the receptionist to always access and refer to while checking a guest in. Then again, reconfirming the bed type and preferences, the views, whether smoking or non-smoking rooms, whether they want a double, whether it's a single occupancy room or a double occupancy room, if there are twin beds, whether the guest wants a king size bed or a queen size bed, then it is the responsibility of the receptionist to even be familiar with contactless check-ins. Now, contactless check-ins would involve the usage of QR codes, which is a very recent concept that has been adopted and implemented by most of the hotels in the modern 21st century. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, most of the hotels have adopted the 6 feet social distancing norm or the 6 feet distancing approach with limited staff or capacity in order to prevent the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. Now, QR codes basically they come into play during contactless check-ins, whereby the guest can use QR codes with the help of his phone and connect with the QR code in the form of 10 card, which is placed at the reception desk upon check-in. Guests can just they can just scan their phones to the QR code of the hotel, and then accordingly, it'll be easier for the receptionist to even print out the registration cards. At the same time, the receptionist should also keep a COVID-19 declaration form and even collect the identity proofs of the guests upon check-in, and making a proper file and folder and confirming all the necessary details. At the same time, the receptionist should also coordinate with the Beldes department to ensure that the luggage has been correctly placed in the rooms along with the baggage tags and the names of the guests along with the room numbers. So again, it's important to escort the guest to the room and reconfirm the number of baggage. And while escorting the guest to the room, the front office associate must inform the guest of the amenities the hotel has, the various timings. For example, what are the breakfast timings and the buffet timings, about the F&B outlets and the restaurants, any specialty restaurants if there are, any cafes, any lounge and bars that the hotel has, any say meeting space or banquet halls, a swimming pool, a spa and gymnasium timings, etc. So once the guest has entered the room, usually this happens in luxury hotels where the guest is escorted to the room after the check-in formalities have been completed, and the receptionist or the front office associate would explain to the guest that there are iPad enabled features with Wi-Fi, 24 hours Wi-Fi facility. At the same time, um, having access to in-room dining with the help of enhanced applications. most five-star luxury hotels such as Marriott and ITC and Oberoi engage in iPad-enabled features in rooms, whereby guests can control the level of lighting and blinds in their rooms. And once all these things have been explained to the guest, then then the receptionist has to bid a sincere farewell and following again the standard operating procedures. As usual, again, coordinating with the bell desk is important for transferring the luggage and from the reception to the bell desk and placing them accordingly as per the bell desk standards, which I will be addressing in the upcoming slides. Now, again, the most vital and important responsibility of the receptionist is to answer and forward any incoming phone calls to relevant departments. Like, for example, if an in-house guest is unable to connect to room service, then they may call up the reception and inquire for the same. And it is the responsibility of the receptionist to transfer the call to the relevant department, which is the in-room dining or the room service department. And even within, sometimes it may so happen that a guest is wanting 4 bottles of water or wanting 4 towels, and they're calling in the evening, say post 8 p.m. In some hotels, the housekeeping shift usually ends at 6 or 6:30 or 8:30, depending on the type of hotel and the shift timings, etc. And if the guest is not being able to get through the housekeeping department, the first point of contact would be the reception, and it is the responsibility of the receptionist to take the request and inform the relevant department or the associates regarding the same and making a note of the same. Now, again, receiving and sorting mails on a daily basis is very important. It is one of the most vital aspects or responsibilities for the receptionist. Now, daily mails would include, say, bookings or reservation related emails. So it's important to receive and sort these mails accordingly on a regular basis, and keeping a note of any upsells or um, any relevant information, guest related or work related, and bringing about the same, bring the same in morning, afternoon, or evening briefings within the department. Then again, it's important to update calendars and sort meetings, taking guest requests again for wake up calls, etc. These are very important aspects for receptionists. Then it's also another responsibility for the receptionist to order for front office supplies and keep inventory of stock. Now here I'm referring to stationery, because in the front office department, staplers, pens, rulers, pencils, erasers, um, room key cards and key jackets, compendiums, files and folders, papers, then baggage tags, baggage claim tags, luggage tags, etc. are all front office supplies and are highly essential to keep a tab of this and to maintain the same and keep inventory of the same. Then again, it's important to maintain a logbook if there are any guest complaints or if there are any issues uh, that have not been resolved. The same should be maintained in a logbook so that everything is on track, and the front office manager can always refer to the same if there are any glitches. As human beings, people tend to make mistakes, but at the same time, it is very vital to maintain a logbook and keep a record of every event taking place or any special requests made by guests. Last but not the least, it is important for the reception associate or the front desk associate to prepare long stay reports and in-house guest lists for the day. Now, in-house guest calling, some hotels usually engage in in-house guest callings after check-in, few hours after they have checked in, guests have checked in, or existing guests who are already resident guests in the property. Now, some hotels engage in calling in preparing a feedback report, in-house feedback report. If there are any requirements, any needs, or if the service is satisfactory, it is important to keep a tab of the in-house guest list and submit a report of the same to the manager in question. And usually these reports are created in an Excel format, just having the room number, the name of the guest, and any remarks, and what has been done to solve the problem, if there are any. Then long stay reports, again, it's important for the hotel to keep a tab of the long stay guests. Now, by definition, long stay guests are those who stay in the hotel, who are resident guests for over a week. Or it's important to even keep a tab of any VVIP guests or any corporate clients, and any expected arrivals or departures. And all these reports must be prepared at the end of the day before the handover is being done to another associate. Now, moving forward with the bell desk. Now, the main responsibility of the bell desk is again to work closely with the front desk staff. As we are very familiar, when we go to any hotel, we see bell desk associates delivering and placing luggages and baggages and storing baggages of guests and delivering and placing baggages accordingly in guest rooms upon check-in, and even assisting guests in upon checkout for transferring of luggage. They have to assist guests with luggage transportation, delivering parcels, and running errands. So they do play a vital role because they have to work in proper coordination with the front desk staff, and there are certain bell desk standards that have to be adhered to. They also provide newspapers to guests. There are some hotels that provide two standard newspapers. Now, for example, in India, five-star hotels usually provide two different types of newspapers. One is the either the Hindustan Times or the Times of India, along with the Economic Times or ET. And most of these hotels also have foreign newspapers, like for the international guests, known as the Financial Times. So accordingly, they have to provide newspapers to guests upon request. Then they have to engage in storage facilities. Now, it may so happen that a particular guest has already checked into the hotel and has come with big baggages. Now, it is the responsibility of the bell desk department to store these baggages. Now, the guests may probably store this particular big baggage in the bell desk department for a say for a period of 20 days upon their next visit, until their next visit. So after 20 days, when they make a revisit, then they can come and claim their baggage, and upon a final checkout, they can take the same. So hence the bell desk department provides storage facilities of baggages, and the guest can come and collect the same as and when required without any charges. A baggage claim tag is also provided to the guest for the same, because baggage claim tags are highly essential in identifying the guest's baggage and the name and the room number of the guest. At the same time, it's important for the bell desk department to make a proper note of the contact details of the guest. Then again, there has to be a clear coordination between the doorman and the bell desk associates when the guest is checking into the hotel. And accordingly, the bell desk department also has to greet international guests in an appropriate manner. Again, being a multilinguist would be extremely beneficial in this regard. Like, for example, if it's a guest visiting from Singapore or from China, a simple hello in Chinese or a good day or a good afternoon in Mandarin would really make their day go amazing. At the same time, it's also important to maintain a record of all the errands that have taken place and of all the baggage tags, and when everything when all the baggages are expected to be collected from guests. It's also important to maintain a logbook regarding any any special requests made by the bell desk department, or any newspapers. Maintaining the inventory of newspapers is also a vital role. Keeping magazines is also an important aspect in this regard, and adhering to the hotel standard operating procedures. So it is important to even comply with the standard operating procedures. Now, some of the typical SOPs that have been followed by the bell desk department would include the following. Like, for example, this usually happens in five-star luxury properties. Like, within 10 minutes of baggage scanning and upon confirmation of room number, the bell desk associate must enter the room with the luggage and place the same on the luggage rack in the walk-in closet. And it's also important to place the baggages in a very convenient manner, such that the wheels are more towards the wall, and the baggage handles or the luggage handles are towards the guest. They may be placed frontwards. And upon entering the rooms, the basic standard that the bell desk department has to comply with is to ring the bell 3 times within intervals of 10 seconds. And in the fourth attempt, knock and open the guest room and announce guest services as part of the standard. Now, this may vary from hotel to hotel, but at the same time, it is very important for the bell desk department to maintain the standards so that the guest has established the fact that they are staying in one of the prime properties of any given hotel brand. And if the guest is not in the room, the staff must follow the standards as usual, enter the room and place the bags. If the guest is present, then it is essential to follow the standards, the room standards, and seek permission to enter and place the bags and offer for any further assistance. The role of the bell desk even comes into play upon checkouts. Guests may ask the bell desk associates to come to the room and to help them in carrying the baggages during the checkout process. Now, it is also as part of the bell desk department's responsibility or the associates' responsibilities to even check the hotel room safe, because usually what happens is that guests may leave certain things behind, and this is part of the standard that the bell desk associate must check for any missing belongings of guests. Now, for example, an excellent an excellent example of bell desk service was when I was pursuing my internship with one of the prime properties in Singapore. As a result, upon checkout, the guest had left her valuable diamond ring inside one of the hotel room safe. Her room safe had had a safety vault, which where she had kept her valuable diamond ring. And upon checkout, she had forgotten about it. However, upon inspection, along with my supervisor, I managed to I managed to find the ring. And before the guest could even leave the hotel, I stopped her and I handed the ring over to her, and she was overwhelmed with joy because honesty and excellent service is what customers are looking for. In the long run, this may also lead to loyalty and customer satisfaction, as guests would like to come and stay in this particular hotel because of the service and because of the honest um, associates that they are dealing with. Now, moving forward to the concierge department. Yes, the concierge does play a very vital role. He's a very resourceful person in the front office department because a concierge is someone who is very, very well aware of his or her surroundings. Could either be uh, about the events taking place in the hotel, it could either be about the tourist attractions of the in and around the city, maps, subway guides, transportation options, providing transportation options, also another responsibility of the concierge. They know in and out of the city and in and out of the hotel, and they can even provide assistance in what restaurants to dine in while exploring the attractions of the city. They provide recommendations, or they are also updated with the current events in the city. For example, if there's a huge concert that is taking place of a very renowned celebrity, it is responsibility of the concierge to uh, make the guests aware that a particular concert is taking place, and the best way how they can get to the venue is by is either by local subway or an MRT known as a mass rapid transportation, or either through transportation offered by the hotel. So therefore, a concierge also suggests transportation options. A transportation of luggage to the airport as per the guest instruction. Now, this is again another crucial aspect of concierge, because a concierge, apart from transportation of luggage to the airport, it's important for the concierge to understand the guest's details and requests, and accordingly follow the standards, the prescribed standards of the hotel. Now, by definition, a concierge is a hotel employee whose job is nothing but to assist guests by booking tours, making theater and restaurant reservations also. The concierge, by default, also delivers guest related or guest requested parcels upon the request of the guest. And a concierge may also arrange for transportation to receive VVIP guests from the airport or from the nearest railway station. Again, bearing in mind the standard operating procedures and protocols that the hotel in question is adhering to. Although some hotels may just have a concierge and may not have a bell desk, and some hotels may only have a bellboy and don't have a concierge and a bell desk department. This again depends on hotel to hotel and the category and type of hotel, whether it's a luxury hotel or a boutique hotel or even an independent hotel. This is entirely dependent on the type and category of hotels. However, the basic fundamental roles and responsibilities and duties remain the same. They have to fully understand the needs of the guests and provide services accordingly. Now, a concierge also has a safe first aid box and a medical kit in case a guest is feeling nauseatic or feeling slightly feverish or has a slight cold. A concierge is fully equipped with the necessary medicines to make the guests feel better. As a result, the concierge plays a very vital role in providing excellent customer services to guests. Now, if a guest would like to dine in an Asian restaurant, for example, the concierge would again, as part of the standards, they would simply recommend the restaurant, the Asian specialty restaurant of the given hotel in question. However, at the same time, if the guest would not like to dine or eat in the hotel, would like to eat outside of the hotel and visit any other nearby restaurants or any other nearby attractions, it is the responsibility of the concierge to provide recommendations and assistance regarding the same. Now, there are typical standards that are followed by most hotels, which concierges adhere to and comply with. Now, for example, telephone standards, which is applicable for every department pretty much. Within the first three rings, the calls must be answered, and within or 10 seconds with an appropriate greeting, given the time of the day, the background must be free of noise and disturbances. If the call has been put on hold for 30 seconds, then it's the responsibility of the concierge to apologize to the guest. If not, they should offer a call back. Now, if the guest has physically come to the concierge desk seeking for assistance, it is ideal for the concierge associate to attend to the guest within 1 minute if there is a queue, or to tend to them immediately when there's no queue. And suitable recommendations should be offered after understanding completely what the guest wants and what the guest needs, either in English or any other preferred language of the guest. Now, if the concierge is a multilingualist, and if a guest comes from Singapore or China, then the concierge can easily converse with them in Mandarin. And same goes for a guest coming from France or Belgium, then the concierge can interact with them in French. So it's also essential to provide recommendations after understanding the needs. Then if there are any requested parcels that, as I had mentioned before, for example, any emails or any Amazon packages, for example, the guest has made a booking from Amazon and immediately online e-commerce packages, the concierge receives it and sends it to the guest. This is just an example, but it could be any other package. But it is as part of the standard for the concierge to first confirm with the guest that there's a particular package that has arrived, and the guest can either come and collect it at a convenient time, or the concierge can have it delivered to the guest room at their convenient time. Then it is also responsibility to respond to all pre-stay emails and inquiries made within a particular day, or latest by the following day if made outside of business hours. And all confirmations must be neatly presented on paper or delivered by email. And at the same time, a concierge also seeks guidance and assistance from the front office manager in providing the concierge related services to guests.